Today on the channel, we're talking about clip-in filters. Now, what are clip-in filters? Well, they are filters specifically designed for certain cameras that actually fit right in front of your camera's sensor. Now, with cameras like the EOS R6, pretty much any RF mount, E-mount camera, if you're using RF lenses, E-mount lenses, you're stuck with using screw-on filters or using a matte box if you want to use ND filters, if you want to use mist filters. But with these clip-on filters, they change the game a little bit because they keep everything nice and compact. So what I'm going to do is right now, this is straight from the camera, and for the rest of the video I'm going to use the 1/8 mist filter because that is my favorite strength. My personal opinion is once you go beyond 1/8, it's a little too strong unless you need that really desired look. Now we have the 1/8 strength Kolari filter on. You could probably see off the bat the highlights are blooming a little bit, my skin tone's a little bit softer, and that's what these mist filters are really for. And if you want to learn more about mist filters, I'll do more in a future video, but today we're really going to cover the clip-on components and why it's so unique. If you have Canon EF lenses, you may be used to using the Canon VND adapter, which lets you use a variable ND filter, or really any filters in its mount. But the problem with using that is it only works with EF lenses. So if you're using something like the EOS R6, R5, and you want to use RF lenses, there really hasn't been a solution until these clip-on filters came out. Now, one of the good things and bad things is they are form-fitted for specific cameras. So if you have an R5 or an R6, they use the same clip-on filters. They're the same little fitting area inside the sensor. If you use other cameras like the EOS RP, well then they actually make a specific clip-on filter for the EOS RP. And with Sony E-mount, I don't know specifically what the different ones are, but I do know that they have specific clip-in filters for Sony E-mount cameras as well, which is really great if you're using Sony E-mount lenses. Now, after a few weeks of using these clip-in filters, I really like the way they work. They come in mist filters, ND filters, ND with mist. One of the things I wish I could have tried was some of the ND filters, because I definitely would use ND filters more with these clip-on varieties, more than the mist filters. I also probably would use some of the mist filters with ND built in, but hopefully I could try one of those for a future video. Now, quick disclaimer, you'll notice that there's a magnet on these clip-on filters that is used to stick to the top of the inside of the camera. And now one of the unfortunate things about that is over time it does scratch the top. Now, that's all cosmetic and it's covered when a lens cap is on. So for my uses, not really a big deal. I think that what you get out of these clip-on filters is definitely more valuable than the scratching that it causes. So for me, it's not an issue. I find it very easy to use them. You literally just pop them in. Kolari actually gives you a tool to be able to pop them out. I actually use an easier method, popping it out like so. I find that a lot easier, and I've actually had a lot less scratching than other content creators I've seen use these clip-on filters. So I gotta head back into the city. It's a little early and I have some stuff to do in the office. So we'll talk a little bit more at my next stop. Finally getting some coffee in. So you may ask yourself, who are these filters for? And that's really going to come down to, do you need to do a lot of run and gun work, and do having screw-on filters using a matte box, does that get in the way, and are you using a camera that's supported by these clip-on filters? If you've answered yes to a lot of those, then I think these clip-on filters will really do you a great service because they keep your setup nice and compact. I mean, I'm using just my EOS R6 with my 16mm. and this little clip-on filter in there. I think in the end, if you're trying to have the smallest setup possible, but you do want to be using filters, then that's where these things really come into play. I really like how small and easy they are to use. I do recommend them. I think these filters can be a really great solution for anyone who's trying to do run and gun work. So if you're interested in it, I'll put a link to them down in the description below. As far as recommendations for using these clip-on filters, I would definitely put them on when you're in a safer setting, even if you're using a camera like the R6 or the R5, that shutter closes when you turn the camera off. It just opens up issues of putting dust, whatever, into your lens mount. It's stuff that isn't necessarily needed, so I think for the most part, I would always put these in a safer area. If you have to use them while you're out and about at a place that could be really dusty or really sandy like the beach, I think you could do it. You're a lot safer using it on an R5 or an R6 that has that shutter curtain come down automatically. On cameras that don't have that shutter curtain come down automatically, I probably would stick to putting these clip-on filters in safer locations. It's time to get this show on the road, so if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. And if you got knowledge and value out of today's video, as always, please feel free to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to keep up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Until next time, my name's Geoff Fagien. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.